United. I think we know what it is. Let's go back to our football correspondent, Rob Dorset. Rob.
Michael Carrick is the Manchester United interim head coach until the end of the season. The club has just confirmed that with a statement that's been sent to me. I can read you a bit of the statement actually as I've just got it in my hand now. Manchester United is delighted to announce the appointment of Michael Carrick as head coach of the men's first team until the end of the 2025-26 season. They point out that he played 464 games for the club, won 5 Premier League titles, the FA Cup, 2 League Cups, the UEFA Champions League, the Europa League and the FIFA Club World Cup. I think it makes it very, very clear that the people we've been talking about all day in terms of his backroom staff are indeed taking over and will be joining Michael Carrick at Carrington's training ground tomorrow, where they will take the squad for the very first time. Steve Holland, which was a little bit of a surprise to us, we have to say. Jonathan Woodgate, who worked very closely with Michael Carrick at Middlesbrough, of course. Travis Binion, who's been a long-term youth coach here at Manchester United and is very highly thought of. Johnny Evans as well, who was only brought back to the club last week to assist Darren Fletcher, and Craig Mawson as well. By the way, Darren Fletcher, I've had it confirmed to me, will return to Manchester United's under-18 squad, where he was before he stepped up to take charge of the. The impression I get, reading between the lines, is that that's what Darren Fletcher chose rather than being involved in Michael Carrick's backroom staff here. I've got some quotes for you as well from Michael Carrick himself, which I think is pretty significant. Carrick has said, having the responsibility to lead Manchester United is an honour. I know what it takes to succeed here. My focus is now on helping the players to reach the standards that we expect at this incredible club, which we know that this group is more than capable of producing. I've worked with a number of the players already and I've obviously continued to watch the team closely in recent years. I have total belief in their talents, dedication and ability to be successful here. There is still a lot to fight for this season. We are ready to pull everyone together and give the fans the performances that their loyal support deserves. Interesting that Michael Carrick is saying there that there is an awful lot still to fight for this season. A lot of Manchester United fans, of course, don't feel that way, having gone out of both the FA Cup and the EFL Cup at the very early stages. No European football for them. There is only the Premier League left for Michael Carrick and the squad to focus on. But crucially, they are 7th in the Premier League right now. They're within touching distance of not just the Europa League and the Europa Conference League, but also the Champions League. And I think the bosses here at Manchester United and Michael Carrick will have spoken about that as a potential target to turn what's been a very difficult season into a huge success if Manchester United could return again to the top table of European competition. I'll just finish with a bit of a statement from Jason Wilcox, the Director of Football, the man who's led this search right from the very start, of course, and who had the task of sacking Ruben Amorim 7 days ago after that relationship between Director of Football and head coach had become irreconcilable. Jason Wilcox says today, Michael is an excellent coach and knows exactly what it takes to win at Manchester United. He is ready to lead our talented and determined group of players for the remainder of the season as we continue to build the club towards regular and sustained success. So Manchester United have their man. They have 4 experienced coaches as well, 3 of whom are very well known to the club. They have Steve Holland, who is a brilliant tactician and a brilliant coach on the training field. He's proved that with England, he's proved that with Chelsea. But crucially, can they improve performances and results on the pitch? And can they get past that baptism of fire with Manchester City here at Old Trafford on Saturday lunchtime in the Manchester derby, and then Arsenal away to follow it? Michael Carrick has an awful lot to say to his players when he meets them for the first time at Carrington tomorrow morning, doesn't he?
Does indeed. Rob Dorset live from Old Trafford with the breaking news that Michael Carrick is Manchester United's interim head coach. Thank you very much, Rob. Right, Rob said it. They've out of both cups. They're not in Europe. Is it top 5 or bust for Manchester United, Carve?
I think it's really important for them to get in the Champions League. Financially, of course, they need the cash injection that they would get from being in the Champions League. But I think there are deeper structural problems at United. I think Michael Carrick, fantastic player, but the bottom line is United are kicking the can down the road. We're going to be in this situation again in the summer, where if you're a United fan, you are going to have to put your faith and trust in Ineos, who are running the club at the moment, picking the right person to be the new manager. It's another wasted season, and it's sad to see a club as big as Manchester United, unless you're a Manchester City fan or a Liverpool fan
or a Leeds fan
or a Chelsea fan going through what they're going through at the moment. But it's been going on for a long time. I've said it before. I personally think it doesn't matter who's in charge, who's the manager, who's the head coach, who's the interim head coach. I've been saying it for 20 years and I'm bored of saying it. The problems at Manchester United are to do with the ownership model at the club. Personally, I think unless that changes, nothing is going to change.
We were talking off camera about what happens if Man United get in the top 5, about the interim role, but on the website he's named head coach until the end of the season. There's no word of interim, is there? And if he were to get in the Champions League, he'd have a great case to stay. Yeah, it's
interesting that.
But I've never known a club with so...
But that might be semantics. Head coach until the end of the season is effectively interim head coach, but we can argue about that. Rob Dorset said, Jason Wilcox, he led the search, he said. Carvey, I put it to you that in his role, he shouldn't have to lead any search because he should have had someone in place already.
And also, I think your question is a little bit loaded because, how much of a search is it that you end up with it either being Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Michael Carrick, without being disrespectful to either of those two players who were absolutely incredible players for Manchester United. But you would think a club as big as Manchester United would have a contingency plan. They would have a plan B. Chelsea, when Enzo Maresca left, we all knew that Liam Rosenior was going to get that job. What was the contingency plan at Manchester United for the manager leaving, for Ruben Amorim leaving? Was it to turn to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Michael Carrick? Most people would say that's not a particularly detailed, well thought through plan. I think, the situation with Michael Carrick reminds me a little bit of the situation when Frank Lampard went back to Chelsea. A legendary figure going back as a manager until the end of the season. It could go one of two ways. Either Carrick could be successful, get them into the Champions League, get the job full time, or it could be what happened under Frank Lampard, where he went back and afterwards he turned around and said, what I found at that club was not what I expected. There were big problems at that club. I couldn't recognise it from the club where I played. So it could go one or two ways. Turning to an ex-player doesn't always work out. And sometimes the problems are far too big for an ex-player to fix. Certainly an ex-player who's only got the job on an interim basis until the end of the season.
Giggs, Carrick, Van Nistelrooy, Solskjaer, Carrick again. I've never known so many ex-players have so many interim roles, but is it just the Man United factor? I mean, the cameras and the directors can't help but see Alex Ferguson clapping every time they're at Old Trafford.
Yeah, I'll give you an ex-player for you. Old Trafford, though, Michael Carrick is on the verge of a sensational return to Manchester United. The former midfielder is expected to be in charge for Saturday's Manchester derby. Our football correspondent, Rob Dorset, is already there at Old Trafford and joins us now. Rob, very good evening. Right, what do we know?
Well, it's getting closer, Mike, is what I'm being told. My sources are saying that it's getting ever closer to an official confirmation that Michael Carrick is the new interim head coach of Manchester United. But that's something, in truth, that we knew very late last night. That's when there was a verbal agreement between Carrick and the Manchester United bosses over pretty much all the terms of his contract and the details therein. But I think you can understand why today has been a long and logistically difficult process for Manchester United, because it's not just Michael Carrick's contract that they're trying to get sorted and signed, with lawyers on both sides poring over the terms, of course. It's the 4 new members of his backroom staff as well. And those are Steve Holland, which came as a bit of a surprise to us when we heard that this morning. Gareth Southgate's assistant with England for 4 major tournaments. Jonathan Woodgate, Travis Binion and Johnny Evans. All of those, of course, have to have new contracts and new terms drawn up with the signatures of all of them and their representatives included before Manchester Manchester United are in a position to announce that, yeah, the whole new team is in place. And my impression is that United want to do that. They want to announce it in one big lump rather than just confirming that Michael Carrick has got his contract sorted out right now. And I think the reason United are trying to get this done as soon as possible is they want it done tonight if they possibly can, so that all of that new coaching team is in position at Carrington training ground tomorrow morning, ready for the return of the Manchester United squad. The players have been off on Monday, they've been off today as well. They're back in tomorrow. And so they want that coaching staff in position, all signed up and ready to go, so that the players can hit the ground running, because they have a huge game, remember, here on Saturday lunchtime against Manchester City. A game that's crucial for Manchester United's hopes of making Europe and hopefully the Champions League from the boss's perspective here, but also to get off to a winning start and a good start for Michael Carrick. He will only have 3 training days to prepare for that game. And by the way, his next game after Manchester City, the small matter of Arsenal away at the Emirates. So a bit of a baptism of fire for the new man and his coaching staff. But first things first, United's bosses want to get this over the line. I think they're close, and they are hoping to get the announcement confirmed tonight.
If they do, well, you know that you'll bring it to us first. Rob Dorset, live from Manchester United. Thank you. Right, Carvey, why are United treading water and bringing in an interim? Why don't they just go and get who they want? They're Manchester United.
Good question. I think because they're in a desperate situation. I think very little has gone right for United since Sir Alex Ferguson left. I think there are major problems with the ownership structure at the club. Ineos, since they've come in, have made a series of wrong calls. And if you're a United supporter, you just have to hope that this one is going to work out. Now, I think the point you're making is, why do United need another interim manager when somebody like Maresca is available? Somebody potentially like Xabi Alonso is available. Shouldn't they be going all out to try and get the man that they want? For instance, if they want Marco Silva at Fulham, OK, he's contracted to Fulham, but he may have a release clause, or you may be able to do a deal with Fulham to get him out. It just feels like another wasted season. And now we're going to have the situation where if Michael Carrick gets them into the Champions League places, say they finish in the top 5, what are they going to do in the summer? Are they going to stick with Michael Carrick, or are they going to appoint a new manager? And also, who is going to want to come to Manchester United in the summer when there are going to be other big jobs available as well? I don't think it's as simple as, let's just wait until the summer and then we can get Thomas Tuchel, or we can get Luis Enrique, or, you know, we can get Oliver Glasner. These managers are going to have other options as well. And who knows what position United are going to be in the summer? Will these managers want to come to United?
Right. Michael Carrick got sacked by Middlesbrough in the Championship. He's now got the United job. What is this obsession with their former players?
Another good question. I don't know. Does it work? Would Michael Carrick have got this job if he hadn't played for Manchester United? Because if you look
Would he have got any other job in the Premier League?
If you look at the Championship table, Middlesbrough finished 10th last season. In his first season, they finished 4th. Second season, they finished 8th. 10th last season, they lost 18 games. They won 18 games, lost 18 games. So with all due respect to Michael Carrick, there is nothing on his CV that would say that he would be on the short list to get the Manchester United job. The reason he's getting the Manchester United job is they need somebody. They need somebody. Because losing Ruben Amorim was unexpected, the way that all ended. But then if you're a United fan, you're asking yourself, what is the point of having this whole structure in place if we don't have a contingency plan for the manager leaving? For instance, Chelsea, Enzo Maresca left within minutes. Everybody who follows Chelsea, journalists, knew that Liam Rosenior was going to be taking over. So where is Manchester United's plan? Where is the contingency plan? Where is the plan B? Because I guarantee you it was never in the Ineos script for Michael Carrick to become the Manchester United manager. Having said that, I wish him all the best, and I hope that he makes a success of this job. And if he does, I think he'll have a good chance of getting it on a full-time basis.
Do you know what? Let's park Manchester United, because we think that announcement is coming sometime soon. When it does, we'll go back to it. But in the meantime...
indumentaria, la Kings Limited Gold Edition. Solo hay 50 unidades de todos los equipos y también puede ser vuestra entrando en kingsleague.pro. Así que es los datos a tener en cuenta en cuanto a indumentarias. Gran partido, Gonzalo, Gerard, el que tenemos por delante.
Ojo, ojo, estilo La Bombonera, estadio de River.
Hostia, más minutos de retraso en el inicio, ¿eh? Ya tenemos lío.
Lo llamó Edo, dibujando la parábola sobre la banda derecha, donde en el vértice del área aparece Nadir. ¡Nadir para adentro! ¡Gol! De Nadir Lua, que tiene una facilidad pasmosa. Encuentra a Pablo, qué balón para Nadir para el segundo. Se zafa de Cócera, es un golazo. ¡Es un golazo! Señoras, señores, bienvenidos al show de Nadir Lua. Pibe.
El mejor.
Vamos
Haciendo
a ver.
espionaje, ¿eh?
Vaya mierda dado, pibe. Va, ya te puedes ir a la cúpula a comer, va.
Tiene que salir Cócera para entregar hacia el centro. Se la regala a Coy, le puede pegar Coy para adentro.
Vaya chicha, nano.
¡Gol! De Porcinos Óscar Coy. Ah, pues sí.
Tony, tienes brazalete con él.
Pero es que, señores,
Te lo dije, Romero.
Tenemos, comodín, ¿cómo lo usamos? Penalti.
penalti.
Venga, será penalti.
Vamos, Cuni.
Puede meter.
Meter en el partido a Cuni. Jordi para adentro, qué golazo.
¡Guau!
¡Dios!
¡Gol!
Tío, eso, dale.
Vamos con Nadir Lua y con Laura Vizcaíno.
Pues sí, Nadir, 2 goles, victoria y a cuartos, enhorabuena.
Sí, sabíamos que el partido iba a ser muy importante porque veníamos de una muy mala dinámica. El equipo ha estado bien, sufríamos defensivamente y creo que hemos estado muy juntitos. Y nada, primer objetivo cumplido.
Os espera Science, rival complicado, imagino.
Sí, empatamos contra ellos y en shootout
Así
perdimos. Ha quedado segundo por algo. Nada, concentración, confianza con nosotros mismos y intentar ganar para el sábado estar en el Wizzing.
Os lo veremos mañana, mucha suerte.